market with a high level of confidence. I'd also like to take this opportunity just to say a very special thank you to Carly Ferguson and Sean McHugh for their leadership on this initiative. I know that they've been working really closely with John and his team to ensure the success of this project. Pulse has been one of the most successful tools that we've used to drive revenues across Black Press. And there are certainly many other major media companies across North America that are enjoying similar success using the tools that our friends at Pulse Research have developed. I know that John shares our passion for local journalism, and he is definitely one of the most experienced media sales executives in our industry today. So John, again, thank you to you and your team for the work that you've done to develop the Pulse platform and all of the support that you have afforded Black Press Media. So on that note, I will turn it over to you. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Randy. On behalf of the Pulse team, we appreciate immensely the opportunity and support and special relationship with Black Press. And our team will do everything we possibly can on an ongoing basis to deliver for you guys. And I want to offer and echo what you just said, Randy, a special thanks to Carly and Sean, who have just done a phenomenal job, in coordinating, this project. And to each one of the publishers and managers who joined us today, I know you've, done your part in promoting the survey and also getting ready and updating your users and your sites today so that we are 110% ready to relaunch with your new Pulse sales tools and new information. So thank you so much. I want to start off today by just making a statement. I want to do everything I can to make this program today and then on an ongoing basis relate to your real world. In other words, the day-to-day challenges and opportunity that you have in each one of your individual markets across Black Press. And so as we go through the presentation this morning, I want to weave into the conversation some specific things such as how to get more new business calls. In other words, activity, knocking on doors, of your team. I know that you guys are phenomenally busy. You're juggling many, many projects. And I want to share with you within the Pulse tools, how we can lighten the load and help you in terms of your sales efficiency. In addition, many of you have a lot of new ad reps. And obviously, this will be an ongoing, opportunity for you. I want to share with you some thoughts, best practices from Pulse on new ad rep training with your Pulse tool. And then obviously, goal number one, and I was an ad rep once and a publisher and a sales manager, et cetera, is hitting those numbers. I want to share with you some best practices from around, the very special relationships we have with over 600 clients across North America, some of their best practices and ideas in how to generate additional revenue. And then obviously I want to focus as we go through with the management team today, how you can help your team members overcome objections. It's a tough world out there, and help them with their closing effectiveness. So I just want to go through real world special recommendations and best practices. First, I want to start out with what's most important. And obviously it goes without saying, but many times we forget about and don't put them number one. And that's your local businesses. What do they expect? What do they want? What do they need from you as, the local community publication? Well, it's really quite simple. I've done thousands of four-legged sales calls. And this makes all the difference in the world, is relating to what's in it for them, helping them with solutions and ideas so that they achieve their goal of getting more customers and more business in and from your local communities. It's tough for them. Their competition is now severe. And we as community newspapers need to do everything we possibly can to help and support them. So we've got to relate to their world. We've got to make sure our conversation and engagement is focused on what's in it for them. And to that end, as Randy just mentioned, we just completed, with your participation and support, a very intensive consumer shopping survey. But it's unique because it's of your audience, and it's very special because we ask the same questions of your audiences that the businesses would ask. A furniture store would ask, do you plan to shop at a furniture store? What do you plan to buy? Living room furniture, bedroom furniture. A realtor would ask, hey, do you plan to list your home in the next 12 months? A car dealer would obviously want to know, do you plan to buy a car, but what type of make are you considering buying? So we ask the questions the businesses would ask. And one of my best practice recommendations is when you're sharing this information with the business, make sure they understand it's their information. Even though it's of your audience, it's their information. You ask the questions that they would ask. Here's the great news, is that we focused on not only the specific products and services the businesses want, we extended the questions from the previous basis, and the results were absolutely spectacular. Look at that. Over 9,500 completed hour-long surveys. That is absolutely incredible. Each one of the 7 zones in Black Press BC has a statistically valid, solid sample to use with total confidence and excitement in engaging with your businesses. And I want to just underscore that each one of your regions, the islands, BC South, the Kootenays, BC North, you've got your own shopping data of your own audience. That makes it even more material and motivating and useful to each one of your local businesses. So congratulations, we've got one heck of a foundation that nobody else has. And I want to repeat that. You're unique in that you have the information that the businesses want, and we will do everything we can to help you with the Pulse sales tools, engaging and effectively generating additional business and relationships for you. I want to share one of my recommendations. There are a lot of ad reps, and this is the real world, who are very comfortable with relationships, but numbers aren't kind of, their comfort zone. I think you'll agree with that. Let me just share with you a little anecdote, and it really helps put things into perspective, why numbers are your friend and making those numbers comfortable to your team. Because the reality is, and the blunt, candid truth is, if any of your ad reps are not comfortable with this information, the purchasing plans, unfortunately, they're not going to use this incredible resource and tool that you have. Here's my suggestion. Just ask them, in the next 12 months, do we reach households who plan to shop at a furniture store? And their answer is going to be, well, obviously, yes. All Pulse does is we ask your audience, do you plan to shop at these business categories, including a furniture store? So we can quantify the percentage. You've got households who are going to shop at a furniture store. All Pulse does very simply is we ask your audience, do you plan to shop like at a furniture store? So we get the percentage. That's all. And then we just take that percentage times the households you reach to provide you with the opportunity on how many households you reach are going to shop at a furniture store. And that's what the furniture store loves and is so motivating and exciting. So the research, quite simply, is just quantifying your existing reader audience shopping plans. That's all. We did a follow-up survey, and this survey was very special, very important, and unique. In the real world out there, once again, unfortunately, you've got a lot of businesses who think print is dead. Newspapers don't reach my audience. That is a horrible misperception. We've got to smash that. Pulse just completed a market survey by phone. Market being all of the households that are within communities where a Black Press publication distributes. Nanaimo, Abbotsford, Kelowna, Salmon Arm, etc. We called on a random basis households by cell phone and by landline to make sure we got a representative sample of those households within each one of your markets. And we asked them which publication, which do they read, the local Black Press publication, and named the Black Press publication. Have you visited and named the local Black Press paper website? Here's the great news. Oh, and by the way, we did 1,000 sample across your markets in British Columbia. And that sample is distributed by population. So in other words, a paper that might have 5% of the overall, population got 5% of the phone calls. So it's absolutely accurate across your markets in British Columbia. Now here's the great news. 70% of all households were reached in the last month by either a Black Press publication or your digital offerings, such as your website. 70% net basis. In other words, if a person read your paper and also went to your website, they were only counted once. So this is a true measure of your reach. 70% in the last month, 61% in the last week, and in the last 24 hours, 46% of all households within British Columbia Black Press markets were reached. Nobody else has that ability to reach that many households. Facebook can't do it. Radio stations on an individual basis can't do it. You've got a unique opportunity, but we've got to tell people about it. We also, in the survey, documented that you are the #1 source of local news and, obviously, very, very important, the #1 source of local advertising. My recommendation is starting immediately. Tell your story. Promote the documented, validated, phenomenal net reach of Black Press. Now let's move on to the new Pulse sales tools. What I mean by new is we are constantly updating, enhancing, adding features, making them more usable and effective. We have developed a very simple sales tool for each, and I repeat, each step of the sales process. So every single day, each of your team members has a resource and a tool within Pulse for the sales step process they are with an individual business. Let's quickly go over those. Prospecting, but identifying the hot prospects, the best leads. And then what do you do in terms of getting the appointment, doing a cold call? In other words, engaging, starting the conversation. And this is one of the areas, by the way, weaving in the real world here. There's a lot of brand new ad reps who, by the way, and I've been out in the field with them, they're very, very, very uncomfortable when they walk into a new business that they don't know. And this gives them the words to say to start the conversation, start the engagement. Next step in the sales process, once you've got the conversation going, is the needs analysis, finding a solution for that business, being the hero, being that consultant to identify with and for that business a solution for them. Like I mentioned a moment ago, it's a tough world for them. They appreciate, they need, they want, they expect your team members not to be order takers, but to be their partner and help them find solutions. And that's where the information from the research, the shopping for their particular business category and product service is phenomenally effective. Then obviously the next step in the sales process is the presentation, presenting a consistent campaign. And I'm going to recommend that you focus on 52-week campaign. Yeah, I've heard it before. People won't sign a 52-week campaign today. I will show you how they absolutely will be comfortable signing a 52-week campaign. Then the next step in the sales process is obviously overcoming objections, like print is dead. And now you've got the market information to prove your reach, but we're also going to be able to show you, because we asked the questions in the survey, what they're missing with Facebook, which I understand, I know from a fact, is a big competitor. If they say, I don't have a budget. If the objection is, well, I didn't get results from my last ad I ran. I share with you some specific ideas on how to overcome those objections. And frankly, it's getting easier today. Why? Because of the fragmentation. There are so many media choices that nobody reaches everybody. And then obviously the last step of the sales process is closing. We've got a incredibly effective new closing tool for you. What's beautiful about it is it engages the business, and they take away their fear, the financial risk. So they come to the conclusion, well, this is a no-brainer. Let's get going. One of the main things that this does, and this is very important, is it takes the conversation away from, well, I don't have a budget. This costs too much. And you hear that a lot. It puts the conversation where it needs to be on how few customers they need for a consistent campaign with Black Press. So that's an overview of the sales process. So now what I'd like to do is go through the Pulse sales tools, but sharing to you, the manager, specific best practices and recommendations. I'm not going to go through today, the step-by-step of the setup with you, the managers. I'm going to do that with the ad reps. And if you'd like to attend the ad rep webinars tomorrow at 9:30, and please do. My focus today is with you, with the managers, on best practices, etc. Number one best practice recommendation. We talked about prospecting a moment ago. Those clients we're working with across North America who are using the prospecting tool are getting phenomenal leads and hot prospects. And their recommendation to you, the managers of Black Press BC, is to identify, each ad rep identifies 25 prospects per week. With the geo prospecting tool, which I'll show you in a second, we've got a best opportunity prospects and a reader buying power prospecting. 3 prospecting tools for you. Obviously, prospecting is extremely important. I've been out with a lot of ad reps, and my gosh, it's embarrassing. They do prospecting by driving around and looking out of their windshield. This is an example, and we'll go live in just a moment, of the geo prospecting tool, where they can zero right into a geographic area, and it's beautiful because they can identify specific businesses and very quickly tag that business and create a conversation teaser or starter. And by the way, this is my old sales territory when I was an ad rep. So geo prospecting, go over that in just a second. So with the 3 different prospecting tools, identify the prospects, we recommend 25, and then create the conversation starter, the teaser, or the flyer, which is step 2 in the sales process. Prospects, then let's start the conversation. Here's an example of the Pulse teaser. It's designed to wrap, print as a half page, and put around an information piece. All of you guys have information one-sheeters, on a special section, a VIP gold package, or a digital services program, etc. This is designed to print and wrap around that information piece. So you're talking about what's in it for them instead of what's in it for you. Very, very simple. So the big number here grabs their attention. Look at that. Almost 6,000 households plan to change or get to an insurance agency. That gets insurance agents' attention versus, hey, we got a special section coming up. The deadline's next Friday, and I can give you a great price and a quarter page in it. No, let's focus on what's in it for them, get them excited, show them the benefits, and then go into the specific information. And by the way, a lot of ad reps ask, kind of a best practice, well, where's this 6,000 come from? It's very simple. The Black Press Pulse survey, we identified 8%. Remember, the survey identifies the percentage. All we do is take the percentage times the households to give the opportunity that you can deliver. And this is important. These are audience households of Black Press, not the market, of Black Press. Big difference. And by the way, we designed this so you can just, the ad rep can attach their business card. We'll get into just a moment. There's 3 teaser options. There's the printed here that you see, but there's also the teaser phone call to get the appointment, and also a teaser email. The second recommendation to engage, and this is designed for cold calling, is the Pulse Flyer. It's kind of like a super teaser. This has become, since its launch just a few months ago, our #1 used product. Why? Because the ad reps love the simplicity, the conversation to help you get new customers. Don't you love that line? To help you get new customers. Pulse asks the questions you would ask. Do you plan to shop at a jewelry store? Yes, here's the good news. 5,400 in this example plan to shop at a jewelry store. What's in it for them, once again? But it takes it to the next step in the sales process. Let's find a solution, needs analysis. Where can you get more business? Here's the opportunity. Here's what our audience is going to buy. I see this out in the field all the time when I'm making 4-legged sales calls. Oh my gosh, I can get more necklaces. I can get more furnace report. I can get more rugs. I can get more business insurance. I can get more wills and trusts. That is a solution for them. They love it. They appreciate it. But it gives you the insight on what to advertise. So when that business says, oh my gosh, I get more necklaces, you can come back with a spec ad and a consistent program promoting necklaces. And so the flyer is an incredible tool for engaging, getting the conversation going, but in the very important step of the sales process, finding that solution and identifying where you can get more additional business for them. And by the way, in the real world, once again out there, there's a lot of gatekeepers, and they're pretty good at keeping your ad rep from getting to them. And so this flyer is designed to fold into thirds and to put in an envelope, put the business person's name on it, and give it to the gatekeeper to give to the decision maker. So you're out on a cold call. Oh, I'm sorry, the lawyer can't talk to you now. Okay, fine. Take the flyer that you printed on your cold call here, fold it in thirds, put it in an envelope with the person's name on it. Incredibly, it breaks through. Why? Because it's what's in for them. It gets them involved. Here's our recommendation, extremely important. If you were to carry our clients across North America, this would probably be #1 best practice. And it's 3x9 or 2x9. For those of you who are managers of a twice-weekly paper, 3x9. What does that mean? That simply means 15 engagements, teasers or flyers per week per rep. Just 15. That's just 5 a day. Extremely doable and realistic. For those of you managers at a weekly paper, 2x9, which is simply 2 teasers or flyers per week, or per rep, which is 10 per week. And as you saw just a moment ago, let's back up here, teaser, flyer, incredibly simple, conversational, very, very easy. And I know darn well that each of your markets, you got many, many, many more than 15 or 10 respectively businesses. And I'm going to be blunt, who would welcome and appreciate, because every time I've gone out with a teaser and flyer, the business has said, thank you. Thank you. Why? Because they appreciate somebody who cares about them and has information about and for their business. So 3x9, 2x9, extremely realistic. But that is the absolute foundation of success with the Pulse program. Now moving on. Oops, clicked too far. One of our clients, and how we, came to the recommendation, how others have used it, in Manchester, New Hampshire. They had double-digit increase in ROP, and they attributed to the teasers and the flyers. Their team members did 3 teasers, 3 flyers per day, double-digit increase. I shared with you already the next step in the sales process, finding the solution with the flyer. It's also in the one page. The next step in the sales process is overcoming objections. And that's really, really easy. Why? Because every single business person fears missing out. Media today is phenomenally fragmented, which means that it's very effective, easy to show them what they're missing by Google search, by radio, email, Facebook, etc., because of the fragmentation. So for instance, if 23% of your audience, and by the way, we ask these questions in your survey that's fresh and updated in your sites right now. We loaded all the new information last night. So from Terrace, BC, to your markets around Victoria, to Abbotsford, your information is fresh and updated right now in your ads or in your Pulse program. So so in the research, this is an example, 23% said yes, they used a local business email. That means 77% did not. So if that business person says to your ad rep, well, we don't need you because we got it covered by email. Sorry, you missed 77% of our audience. So the real world here is you have the ability to help and support your ad reps overcome the objections they're hearing every single day. And while we're at it, number one is, and either they say it directly or it's, the unspoken objection, newspapers are dead. You got the 70% reach in the last month, and then you've got the specific details of whatever they say. They're using radio, they're using search, et cetera, to show them what they're missing. And by the way, if you're doing digital agency services, we can talk about later how to use this information to effectively communicate why they need you for their digital agency fulfillment. Okay, so moving on to the last step of the sales tool, and that's closing. And this is an example of the break-even calculator, which we'll go to live in just a moment. And as I said at the beginning, what it does is it engages the business. So that business discovers and experiences for themselves that yes, they can, with no risk, commit to a consistent 52-week campaign in a Black Press publication. We'll go live to that in just a sec. Well, actually, just now. So let's do this. We covered the sales process. We covered the research, the shopping information update from your audience. Now I want to take a little tour and go live, across your program. And once again, my purpose today is not to go into the setup per se. We'll do that tomorrow with your team members, but from a managerial, my recommendations, best practices from Pulse team clients across North America. The Pulse tools are designed to be used not only on their desktop, but also on their smartphone or a tablet. Why? Because they are out in the field and they're always using their phones. So we take advantage of the fact they're using their phones. So they can place a link on their phone to their Pulse homepage, just like you see right here. And I'll go over that tomorrow with them, how to do that setup. But look at this. Right at their fingertips is each one of the sales tools for the sales process: prospecting, engagement, needs analysis, the presentation, overcoming objections, and closing. So let's do a quick overview for you. Number one, I said that, obviously your team members are busy. We've built right in here the ability to type in the name of a business, and quickly it'll bring up that business, and they can, with one click, create a teaser or a flyer or a one-page presentation. Simple and as fast as that. Just type in the business and say I'm an arm, boom, it comes up, and you click on teaser. Let's now take a look at the prospecting tool. Leads, obviously extremely important. We have 3 solutions for you to help your team members get more hot prospects and leads quicker. Number 1 is the geographic program. So all they do is they click on geo-prospecting, and they can put in the community name like Salmon Arm. They click on find, and up will come Salmon Arm. They can zoom in. They can put in a specific postal code, or they can put in a community name. And up will come a map like you're seeing like this. And then all they have to do is click on a particular business, and they can literally in a second create a teaser. So let's click here on Boston Pizza. It brings up a dialogue, and they with one click can create a teaser or a flyer or a presentation. But remember, in the sales process, and let's say Boston Pizza's not an advertiser yet, let's create a teaser. So we click on teaser. We need to tell the name of the business to the program because we just clicked on the name. So we type in pizza, click on pizza restaurant, and up come our 3 teaser options. We need to put in, by the way, and up on the list comes a complete drop down of all the options for Black Press. And so let me just, I don't see Salmon Arm on there, so I'm sure it's there. Anyway, so bear with me a second. Let's pretend we're in Abbotsford, okay? You get the idea. It'll come up when you're in Salmon Arm for Salmon Arm. But here's the 3 teaser options I spoke of just a minute to start the conversation. Right at your fingertips, you mouse over. Here are the words to say over the phone to get that appointment. I thought you might like to know there's 14,823 local households who plan to visit a pizza restaurant. Would you like to know what they plan to buy? So we got information on details of pizza plans. For a furniture store, it would be what types of mattresses, living room furniture, bedroom furniture. For a realtor, it would be what types of listings they plan to sell, commercial property, residential property, land, etc. It's phenomenal. So what to say starts the conversation. For those of your team members who are inside telemarketing, look at this. We've also got it set up so that we've got the words for an inside telemarketer to say. Email. A lot of times there's an out-of-town decision maker. So we build right into the program, simple, fast, mouse over, what to email. And you just copy and put it into your email program. And then what I recommend for the outside team members, and remember, 3x9, 2x9 each day, each rep, is they print a teaser wrap. They go to their prospecting tool in Pulse, they identify a business, click on teaser, and look at it, fast and as simple as that. They can create and present a printed teaser. And by the way, instead of just handing out a business card, staple the business card to the teaser. Very, very effective, okay? So that's an overview of the teaser program, and what I'd like to do is go back to here, the prospecting tools for us, and cover the other 2, because prospecting, part of the sales process, very important. We got Pulse Hot Prospects, and this is really unique because it's, once again, real world. It's based upon, across North America, for each business category, the actual close percentage average sale and sold rank. So look at this. You can look at the business categories that are most sold by community newspapers. There's some here you'd forget about. Look at this. Legal firms, number 10 on the list. Financial advisors. I'm confident that I could sell 80% of the financial advisor presentations I would make in Black Press BC. Why? Because you have such an incredible opportunity you can deliver for them. Now let's go through, I want to share a couple. So you go through, you identify by hot prospects, by most sold, for instance. You click on find, up comes a list, no problem. You just click on create, you click on flyer perhaps. Okay, so we click on flyer. And look at that. It's as fast and simple as that. And so I'm going to be blunt. If an ad rep tells you, well, I don't have time to do this, look them right in the eye and say, yes, excuse me, no, I'm saying this to positive. Yes, you absolutely have time. You have 15 seconds because that's all it takes to identify a hot prospect and create and print a pulse flyer. 15 seconds. You absolutely have the time to do that. And I can assure you the businesses want and appreciate you coming out with information about and for them. The other prospecting best practice I want to share with you is you click on the hot prospects. And let's say you've got a special section, special project coming up for health and wellness, okay? And your team members need to identify some prospects for your health and wellness section. Look at this. You click on the hot prospects, you click on section, and it organizes the 500 business categories that we ask your audience purchasing plans. And look at this. You come down here and you just scroll down. It's all nicely alphabetized for you. And you come down here and you've got health and medical. And so you can very quickly identify hot prospects. Oops, I went too far. Home related. There we go, health and medical. Look at all the business categories that you literally within 15 seconds can identify for your special health and medical wellness section that you can click and find. Let's just put here orthodontist. We'll click find. We'll click on an orthodontist or click on a business here. Happy orthodontist. I had orthodontist, when I was a kid and I didn't find it too happy. Click on flyer. And there you go. You've got a special teaser flyer that you can take out. Another best practice, on a tablet or a phone. Remember, everything Pulse's design has today is mobile enhanced. So look at this. They can click right here, and then they can add or delete to the presentation, okay? Simple and as easy as that. And so it gives you the ability to literally identify hot prospects by category and then create flyers, i.e. conversation starters for those prospects. The last prospecting tool, last but not least, is a brand new reader buying power. This is exciting. Why? Because it overcomes that misperception that print is, it tells one heck of a story. So we click here on reader buying power. It does it by audience once again. So let's say we're in Aldergrove, and look at this. It projects out your audience opportunity for every single one of the over 500 business categories by your total audience spending. So we come down here and let's click on one of these, insurance agent. Look at that. In Aldergrove, $6.5 million, that's $1 million, will be spent by your Aldergrove audience for new or changing insurance agencies. So the prospecting by reader buying power is very emotional. It's extremely motivating to your ad reps and to the businesses. And that was just added to your Pulse program, a little bit ago. So that's an overview of the prospecting and your engagement tools. Now, in terms of the one-page presentation, and I did some this morning here. I just want to go over that for us here. In our one-page presentation here, remember, I'm going to go over the how to create in the webinar with your ad reps tomorrow. Purpose today is to share with you on a managerial kind of a coaching level some suggestions. The one-page presentation has been repositioned, if you will. And remember I said that one of the most effective closing elements is getting the business engaged. And so once again, this one-page presentation includes with the campaign, and I'm suggesting in this presentation, $18,000 52-week campaign, okay? All they need is just 3 customers to pay for the campaign. It highlights That is the focal point, not the price, but all you need is three new clients each month to cover the campaign. That's all. And that's 3 per month, 36 per year out of almost 9,000, households in this example who plan to shop at a furniture store. All they need is 36. That makes it very doable and realistic. How do we do it? Once again, mobile enhanced. They click here on the one page and it brings up the break-even calculator. We want the business's input. We want their buy-in. We want their validation. And so we ask them, pulse on the average, the household estimated spending over a year's time at a furniture store. Remember, this self-populates for every one of the 52 categories is 1,125. Well, obviously, every furniture store is different. What is the average value of a new customer household at your furniture store over the next year? Well, that's $1,500, okay? Well, obviously, you want to pay for the campaign after you take out the cost of the furniture store, right? Yeah, of course, he says. Well, what's your cost of goods? Well, my cost of goods is 63%. They know this as a business. Obviously, many of your ad reps aren't comfortable with ROI, cost of goods, net value customer. It's easy smeezy with this break-even calculator. Why? Because all they have to do is ask the business, and they absolutely will assist because this is their world. And they put in 63%, or have your ad rep put in 63% on their phone or a tablet. Look at that. There, and remember, this is their calculating, 555 net customer value. What does that mean? That means is at their customer value, on a net basis, all they need is just 33 customers over 52 weeks. That's less than 3 a month. And I think you will agree with me that changing the conversation from price, from cost, to what's comfortable and realistic, i.e., all you need is just 33 customers out of the almost 9,000, makes it much more effective. In fact, I ask a business person at this point, and here's my recommendation. I go over the consistency and repetition of what I'm suggesting. You're going to get, 4 3x10 ads per week. You're going to get, X number of impressions. You're going to get a print and deliver. You're going to get this. You're going to get that. So I reinforce with them the repetition, the consistency, and then ask them, wouldn't you agree with me that that level of consistency, that level of repetition over the next 52 weeks to the 8,900 households we reach who will absolutely, and I want to underscore that, absolutely shop at a furniture store, do you think you're going to get at least 33? I've had many businesses, well, that's a no-brainer, just made a sale. It is that effective. It'll significantly increase your team members' close ratio. But what if you're there with that ornery business? Well, I don't know. I think 33. They just want to be ornery, right? Look at this, what we build into the closing tool. Well, what do you think? What do you think is the absolute worst, lowest number of new customers you would get with this 52-week campaign that has this number of ads, this number of impressions, blah? What do you give? Give me the worst case scenario. Well, I think the worst case is 18 customers. Okay, well, look at that. So 18 customers at your net value of $555, that's a $10,000 campaign. Would you like to start? I've had them say many times, yeah, of course, because now they realize this is real world. This is in their best interest, because even at 18, which they kind of did smart alecky, right? They realize the reality that they can do a $10,000 consistent 52-week campaign with a black press publication with no fear, because they know darn well they're going to get at least 18 new customers they would have not gotten before. And so that's an overview of the one-page presentation that builds in the closing tool. But in addition to that, I want to underscore there's a lot of legitimate, real-world objections. Why I say legitimate? Because they truly believe that they get all the business they need with Facebook. Let's show them what they're missing. So we can show them either in the setup or in the editing, like I just remember, everything we do at Pulse is enhanced for mobile, real-time, engage with the business. Nobody else can do that. And I would imagine that 99.9% of your team members have a smartphone that they can, in real time, do this. So person says, well, we use Facebook. We don't need you. Look at this. You can go right into your program like I just did. Click on the editing pen for, overcoming objections. Click on Facebook. And now update. And there we go. Facebook is good, but 92% of our audience, and this is from your Black Press survey that was just completed in June. And by the way, and I want to underscore this, each of your zones have your own information. The islands, the mainland, north, Kootenays, each of you have your own data. So it's 92% of your data, of your audience, who have not responded to a Facebook offer in the last 30 days. That's powerful. I've had many businesses, they have that look on their face like, oh my gosh, now let me help you get from our audience, the opportunity you're missing, that you're not getting by only posting your furniture special on Facebook. And so that's how to help your team members overcome objections, that they hear every single day, social media. And also, and I'll be covering this tomorrow, we've got real estate sites, we've got automotive sites, we've got employment sites, we've got search by each business category. So they've got the tools to overcome the objections they're hearing every single day. Okay, so now I'd like to cover, and go back here if I might to there we go. Okay, go back to our recommendations and then go into the reporting program. This is the Pulse Sales Recommendations. We will do everything we possibly can to assist and support you, but the bottom line is delivery. Number one, 25 prospects per week. In other words, 25 leads using the geo-prospecting tool, the hot prospecting tool, and the audience buying power. You saw how simple it is on any device, anywhere. From those prospects, starting the conversation, engaging, or twice weekly teams, 3 per day per rep. That's 15 per rep per week. And for a weekly paper, 10 per week per rep. As I mentioned before, very, very realistic, very doable. And I'm going to say it once again. There's at least 15 businesses in a weekly paper, or twice weekly, 10 in a weekly paper, who would welcome and say, thank you. Thank you so much for caring about me and sharing information and helping me, versus the radio rep comes in and says, well, we got this special deal. Do you want to do it? We're different. We're Black Press. We assist, we support, we provide information and find solutions for them. So is 15 and 10 doable? Absolutely. And then from the 15 and 10, each of your team members do a minimum 10 Pulse presentations. And this becomes easy, by the way. Why? Because so many times with the flyer, and I've had it happen a lot, they say, well, what type of programs do you have? Because they realize they can get more necklaces. They realize they can get more listings. They realize they can get more business insurance. You found a solution. So it's now natural for them to say, well, I want to get my share. And so it flows right into doing a one-page presentation, which just merely shows them how few customers they need for a consistent 52-week campaign in your Black Press publication. So 10 per month per rep. And from that, with this Pulse closing tool, you're going to close at least 2 brand new businesses, new dollars, new revenue to your Black Press publication. So that's our recommendation, and you will do phenomenally well. The beauty of it is that's $675,000 in new sales per month across Black Press. Is that realistic and doable for all the reasons I just said? Absolutely. Absolutely. And by the way, we've got many, many clients who are executing, doing the simple recommendations and best practices that I shared with you this morning and smashing those numbers. It's really important, and I'm going to go over this right now, in the reporting program, that they record their activity, particularly their teasers and their flyers. So let me go back here if I might. And I'll show you how easy it is. And I'm going to be going over this with your ad reps tomorrow, but I want to make sure you as the managers are aware. Every time they create a presentation, such as a teaser, etc., it automatically puts it on their homepage. It's as simple as that. And then all they have to do, as you see I'm right here on their smartphone or any device, is just come highlight it, click on the navigation bars, and they can mark it as presented. And then after that, they can mark it as sold. And let me just do this right now. They can mark it both as, and I remember my presentation was for 18,000. They can mark it, they can split it between renewal business or new business. So let's say they were doing a $10,000 campaign before. Now they're signing a contract for 18. So there's 8,000 new and 10,000 renewal. Or this could be 100% new sale. So just click it as new. If it's a renewal, and darn it, renewals are important in today's world, just click it as renewal. Now maybe go over that with your ad reps tomorrow. Why? Because Black Press Corporate will be tracking new business, renewal business, and total business generated from your Pulse sales tools. So in the program, they can, from their homepage, identify the reporting. They can go to accounts, and within each one of the accounts, it'll list the activity, i.e. the presentations for that account. So I'll click here on Boston Pizza. And you've got a list of presentations created for this business. They, once again, same methodology. They click on the navigation buttons. They put in first step, when did they present it? They put in what happened. Did they say yes or no? They put in the dollar amount. But the beauty of it is also, in any one of these areas that they can engage, they can edit the presentation. They can view the presentation. Okay? So they can do it from accounts. And they can also, by the way, go into reporting. So this is the third area to record. So I'm here as a guest ad rep in Abbotsford. So I click on myself, and this tells you the little speaking icon is a teaser. So how do you record your teasers to count the engagements? No problem. You just click here, and you click on presented. I mark it as presented. So I'm marking my teaser as presented. It records, I created a teaser, but I've got to record I presented. And presented can be talked over the phone to get the appointment. I use the teaser, to get the appointment, or I send out an email. Okay? But you've also, and here's the icon for the flyer, a little door opener. So you just click here, and you can record what you did with your flyer. And by the way, this one page here that you see the icon here, and you see as you mouse over it, is the one page. And so from your reporting program, which gives you a little more detail, your ad reps can record what happened, each step of the sales process, to make sure you as the manager and your team members are getting credit, for their activity and results with the Pulse program. Okay? And by the way, if you have any questions or feedback, 24/7, literally, happy to help you. My email is Marling, MARLING, at paper.net. That's Marling at paper.net. Okay, so tomorrow I'm going to go in over with your team members, more of the how to create, but also reinforcing the realism and how quickly and how easily they can use their Pulse sales tools for each step of the sales process, and how these tools will be phenomenally effective for them in their everyday world, with engaging, getting through the gatekeepers, starting the conversation, getting the opportunity to present, and obviously to close. And then the last thing here I want to go over with you, click here, there we go, is we're going to be coming up with a new call manager program. Your team members will be able to create a call plan for a special section, for instance, or for a day or a week, and it'll generate a call report or call sheet. And so that's coming up shortly. It'll be a complimentary addition to your Pulse sales tools. In closing, I want to thank you on behalf of Pulse, and thank Randy, Carly, Sean, the other managers, for the opportunity. And I consider it an honor to work with you guys. We will do everything we can to deliver for you. My recommendation, personally, is for each of you managers to log into your Pulse program every day. Why? Because if you're not on top of it, you're not watching. If it's not important to you, it's not going to be important to them. And so you need to be engaged. It needs to be part of your every day to log into the Pulse program to see where your team is. And to give that little nudge when this, I was an ad director once, and there's nothing more effective to say, hey, Susie, you haven't used the Pulse program the last couple of days. How can I help you? Or to say to Joe, hey, Joe, congratulations. I see you just created a flyer for so-and-so. They're really tough. That's great. And so it gives you kind of what you need to really engage and lead your team. So once again, on behalf of the Pulse team, I want to thank you very, very much for the privilege, the honor to be part of the partnership with Black Press. And thank you, Randy, personally. You are one of the best in this industry. You've got a great team, and Pulse will do everything we can to deliver for you. Just log in each day, you guys, and make sure that your team members are very simply, no excuses. Don't take excuses. 3x9 or 2x9, depending on your frequency. And the results are going to meet and exceed your expectations. So thanks again. I appreciate it very much. It's Marling at paper.net if we can help in any way. Randy, is there anything you'd like to say in closing? I don't know if Randy is still on the phone here.
Carly, Randy and the team in Surrey at one point lost power, and then
Oh, no.
they lost audio. Are you there, Randy?
Hey, Carly, it's Dal here. We did lose power, but I was able to log back on again.
Okay, yeah, Randy's texted me and said that they lost audio at one point as well. So maybe they're struggling getting on.
Is Carly or Sean, is there anything you'd like to say in kind of a wrap up?
Sean?
Sean's not on this morning. He'll be on the afternoon session.
Okay. I see that Randy's back on. Welcome back, Randy. It looks like his phone isn't connected, his audio. So Carly, would you like to say anything in wrapping it up for us?
Yes, thanks so much, John. Thanks to you and Brian and Taylor for all the work you've done on the survey, on their net reach survey, walking us through setting up goals I think what we'll do is, with respect to everybody's goals, they're set up in the system per publication. Yeah, Randy's texted and said his audio isn't functioning. That we'll follow up with just a summary so you understand what the goals are, how we've come up with them, and you know, how you can track them a little bit more detail on those goals. So we'll follow up with more communication with managers about that.
Okay. And Carly, you reminded me. I was remiss. I meant to come back for you managers on your managerial dashboard when you log in. Right at your fingertips on any device are the Pulse sales goals for number of teasers, number of presentations, number of closes for your team. So for instance, you click here and up will come, and I'll be taken off there. I'm just a guest, ad rep, but you will have right at your fingertips. Remember, so, this is Abbotsford. So they're 15 teasers, flyers, per team member per week. And so it'll track in real time for you guys where your team members stand on each one of the Pulse goals. Simply right on your dashboard, the goals for teasers, presentations, closes, and dollars. And then Carly, as you just said, will be going over the specific details of how it was set up. So thank you, Carly, for that reminder. It's right on your dashboard, guys. Okay?
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a great sales day.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.